Would you believe us if we told you we have proof that Elsa is related to Tarzan? And what if we also told you that in reality, she may not have been alive since Frozen 2? Elsa died. Everyone saw Elsa saying goodbye to Anna to become the protector of the enchanted forest and assumed they were simply going their separate ways. But it is possible that Elsa became the forest's guardian precisely because she died and turned into a ghost. In one of the most emotional scenes in Frozen 2, she was completely transformed into an ice statue and only returned to normal after Anna freed the enchanted forest from its curse. When she became a statue, her powers started disappearing from the world to the point where Olaf began falling apart into blocks of snow. The fact that her powers started fading indicates that Elsa was truly losing her life, since her ice powers are part of who she is. So it is possible that Elsa did not survive. In that case, she would only have been released because Anna broke the curse, allowing her spirit to become free. Creepy, right? But we are only getting started with the dark Frozen theories that nobody noticed. Get comfy and come with us, because another Cinewave is about to start. Tarzan. Who would have thought that Elsa and Tarzan could be siblings? And we are not joking. This was basically confirmed by one of Frozen's directors. But before we talk about that, let's look at what made fans start believing this theory. First, there is the strange coincidence that both Elsa's parents and Tarzan's parents were involved in a shipwreck. Now, look at Elsa's parents and then take a look at Tarzan's parents. They may seem different, but if you really think about it, Elsa's parents could have looked like this after spending so much time at sea and becoming stranded. It would be natural for King Agnar's beard and Queen Iduna's hair to grow. The theory is that Elsa's parents did not die at sea as the movies claim. Instead, they washed up on an island and had another son, but they were eventually killed by a leopard, leaving the boy to be raised by gorillas. That boy would be none other than Tarzan. And if you think that sounds crazy, just wait until you hear that Chris Buck, one of Frozen's directors, said in an interview with MTV that he personally believes the theory is true, making Tarzan Anna and Elsa's long-lost brother. However, even though he is a Frozen director, he does not own the rights to Tarzan's story and would need Disney's permission to make it 100% official and, for example, have Tarzan appear in a Frozen movie. Either way, Tarzan is Elsa's brother in our hearts and in Chris Buck's heart. Rapunzel. The funny thing is that Tarzan is not the only character connected to Elsa and Anna. Rapunzel is also part of this same universe and has a good chance of appearing in Frozen 3. Don't believe us? Then zoom in on this scene. Those two characters are Rapunzel and Flynn Rider. This happens during Elsa's coronation and basically confirms that Frozen and Tangled take place in the same world, especially because Disney stayed very faithful to the timeline. Look closely at Rapunzel's short hair, which indicates that Frozen takes place after her movie, where the princess had her long hair cut at the end. If it were just a random Easter egg, the animators would not have paid that much attention to detail. But why do we think Rapunzel will be in Frozen 3 if she did not appear in the second movie? The answer is that a live-action remake of Tangled is being produced right now and is expected to come out sometime between 2027 and 2028. In other words, Frozen 3 could feature Rapunzel as an important character specifically to promote the live-action Tangled movie. Rapunzel's relative. Since we are talking about Tangled, have you ever stopped to think that Rapunzel could be Elsa and Anna's cousin, just as Tarzan could possibly be their brother? Look at these pictures of Elsa's mother and Rapunzel's mother, Queen Ariana. Did you notice how similar they look? They could easily be sisters. Maybe they really are, and that would explain why Rapunzel attended Elsa's coronation in the first Frozen movie, even though she lives in the kingdom of Corona. Following this logic, Queen Ariana would have originally come from the kingdom of Arendelle, where Frozen takes place, and then become the Queen of Corona after marrying King Frederick. Some people believe that the real reason Elsa's parents went on the ship journey that ended in tragedy was to visit Queen Ariana, who was very sick, as shown at the beginning of Tangled. It would be both ironic and sad to think that while Queen Ariana survived her illness, Elsa's parents died in the shipwreck while traveling to see her. So tell us, would you like to see Rapunzel appear in Frozen 3? If so, leave a comment below with #Rapunzel. Hans's return. The Rapunzel mystery is fascinating, but sooner or later we had to talk about Hans, because there is a very good chance he could return for revenge as the villain of Frozen 3. Hans was the main villain of the first movie, having seduced Anna so he could become the king of Arendelle. But things changed in Frozen 2. The sequel did not have a main villain, villain, and that was heavily criticized at the time. Disney will probably want to avoid those same criticisms and give Frozen 3 a main villain, so why not bring Hans back? He got a lot of attention in the first Frozen for being an evil Prince Charming, and the best part is that Hans is still alive. After being defeated, he was exiled back to his home country to stand trial. The short film Frozen Fever shows a brief scene of him working on a farm in his homeland, suggesting that his punishment was losing his noble title and becoming a commoner who has to work just like everyone else. With that in mind, it is entirely possible that Hans could return in Frozen 3 to try to get revenge on Anna. Of course, that is only one possibility. Disney may prefer to create a brand new villain for the movie. Do you think it would be cool to see him return? Or should Frozen 3 introduce a new enemy for Elsa and Anna? Anna's powers. If the sisters have to confront Hans or a new villain, then it would be amazing if Anna gained powers like Elsa. Well, good news. There is a chance that could be very close to happening. And the reason comes from Frozen 2, where we discovered that Elsa is the fifth spirit of the Enchanted Forest, serving as a bridge between magic and humanity. However, Elsa herself says that a bridge needs two sides, suggesting that her sister is one of those sides. That would mean that, because she is Elsa's sister, Anna is also the fifth spirit. And if that is true, Anna may have powers too. They simply have not awakened yet. At least, not until Frozen 3. If that really is the case, it is interesting to imagine Anna being able to control fire. With her and Elsa representing the two sides of a bridge between magic and humanity, it would make sense for the sisters to have opposite powers. While Elsa controls the cold and ice, Anna would control heat and fire. Even her appearance fits the idea, since Anna is a redhead, and red hair strongly reminds people of fire. She was made to control the flames. Even so, we do not have any concrete proof, so we will have to wait for Frozen 3 to be released to discover the truth. Anna's child. It is still a mystery whether Anna will have powers in Frozen 3, but something else many people want to see is her having a child with Kristoff. Fortunately, the movie's synopsis has already been revealed, and it says that Elsa and Anna are awaiting the arrival of a mysterious new member of the royal family. A large number of fans interpreted this mysterious new member as Anna's baby. The mystery in that case is whether the baby will be a boy or a girl. Considering that Anna and Kristoff are going to get married, it makes perfect sense for their family to start growing. Unknown relative. This synopsis excited the fans who want Anna to have a baby. But what if this mysterious relative is not a baby, but instead Tarzan? Just look at how everything seems to fit together. We already mentioned that one of Frozen's directors believes the theory that Tarzan is related to Elsa, and now the Frozen 3 synopsis says the sisters will meet a mysterious relative. That is far too much of a coincidence for there not to be something behind it. This would be the perfect opportunity to finally confirm the Tarzan theory in an actual movie. Just imagine how crazy it would be to see him interacting with Anna and Elsa. Don't forget, subscribing is the easiest way to make sure you never miss any of our videos. Queen Anna. If Tarzan is this mysterious relative, that would be great. But what if this relative is a brand new character who shows up to steal Anna's throne? She became the Queen of Arendelle in Frozen 2, so imagine if she lost that position from one movie to the next. You can imagine it starting with Anna becoming overwhelmed by the responsibility of ruling an entire kingdom while still being so young. Then, with the arrival of this mysterious relative, who could be an uncle or a cousin, Anna might eventually decide to hand the throne over to him and focus on her upcoming marriage. That would be Anna's fatal mistake, because Disney would almost certainly have this mysterious relative turn out to be a villain who had been manipulating Anna specifically so he could become the King of Arendelle. Maybe he would not even be Anna's real relative and was only pretending. Of course, all of this is just speculation on our part. Do you think it would be cool if the villain of Frozen 3 were something like this? New spirits. Whether it has a villain or not, Frozen 3 should introduce new spirits into this incredible universe. In Frozen 2, we met 4 spirits of nature: earth, water, fire, and air, along with the 5th spirit, who is Elsa herself. But if a 5th spirit existed this whole time, there must be more of them, especially because Disney has been following a strategy of using sequels to its older movies to expand their universes as much as possible. We saw this in Zootopia 2 with the arrival of reptiles, in Toy Story 5 with the revelation that tablets like Lilypad are also alive, and in Moana 2, where we discovered Nalo's curse and met other gods, such as Nalo and Matangi. So Frozen 3 could do the same thing by introducing new spirits, such as a spirit of light and a spirit of darkness. That would be incredible, but there is another theory that is even more shocking, and we are going to talk about it right now. Accident. Everyone thinks the death of Elsa's parents was an accident, but what if that is not entirely true? Actually, Frozen 2 contains a few small clues suggesting that they lost their lives because of Nook, the water spirit. In the movie, Elsa discovered that her parents had been crossing the dark sea by ship. However, when she tries to cross that same sea alone, she ends up encountering Nook, and that is when we see how aggressive he can be, initially going as far as preventing Elsa from crossing the sea. It is a little suspicious that the sea where Elsa's parents had their accident is the exact same sea where the furious water spirit lives. The movie never says it directly, but it seems to be secretly suggesting that Elsa's parents faced the wrath of a spirit from the enchanted forest, and because of that, they are no longer with us. Enjoying it? Then click one of the 2 videos we left on the screen and keep going with us. See you next time!